Hi, I'm James Ford with the Empty Moon Zen Sangha and with another episode of our Zen in 5 Minutes presentations. Several people have asked me to address the 8 worldly concerns and how they relate to Zen practice. If you're not familiar with them, they're a description of the distractions of our lives. In the Lokavapata Sutta in Thanissaro Bhikkhu's translation, very slightly adapted, we're told these 8 worldly conditions spin after the world, and the world spins after these 8 worldly conditions. Which 8? Gain, loss, status, disgrace, censure, praise, pleasure, and pain. These are the 8 worldly conditions that spin after the world, and the world spins after these 8 worldly conditions. Now, these 8 are usually paired up as 4 hopes and 4 fears that correspond to them. Gain and loss, status and insignificance, praise and censure, and pleasure and pain. To call these the conditions that spin the world isn't much of an overstatement. The assumption in Dharma circles is that these are all part of the wheel of life and suffering, and people long to get off that wheel. In much of the Buddhist world, the practice is avoiding these states or attitudes that are unhealthy while cultivating those that are benign or positive. Probably the most famous of such things is metta or loving kindness practices, where we attempt to reframe our attitudes in life. A lot of hard work, and I believe worthy. And Zen tends to take another angle on all this. It brings to mind a story about the great 11th century poet Su Dongpo. He made his living as a government official, and he was a serious householder practitioner. Apparently, his poetry caused him to lose jobs on more than one occasion. For instance, in an Arthur Waley translation, he wrote, "Families, when a child is born, hope it will turn out intelligent. I, through intelligence, having wrecked my whole life, only hope that the baby will prove ignorant and stupid. Then he'll be happy all his days and grow up to become a cabinet minister." Anyway, there's a great story about him that I think fits the issue of the 8 worldly concerns. For a while, he lived across the banks of a river from the Zen master Fo Yin. They became close friends. At some point in his practice, the poet felt the settling of heart and mind, and he composed a poem. "I bow my head to the heaven within heaven." Lovely line. "Hairline rays illuminate the universe. The 8 winds cannot move me, sitting still upon the purple golden lotus throne." If you missed it, the 8 winds are the 8 worldly concerns. He had the poem carried across the river not long after the poem was returned. Written across the bottom of the sink was a single word: fart. He immediately ordered a boat and was taken across the river. When he got to the master's hut, the door was shut, but a sheet of paper was tacked to the door. A 2-line verse was written on that paper. "The 8 winds cannot move me, but one fart blows me across the river." In any traditional Zen story, this is where the poet would have his great realization. And who knows, maybe. What I can say is the spinning world is no doubt spinning. And as far as our human hearts are concerned, it really is a matter of gain and loss, status and insignificance, praise and censure, pleasure and pain. But here's the deal. The Pure Land, the awakened mind, the awakened heart, liberation, do not occur any place else. And these very things are the energy of our human world. Trying to crush the impulse is missing the real point. How is it that we let go of our grasping after these things? How do we instead learn to play with them like a child with a toy, who when it is time to get up and go home for dinner, just leaves them for another time? Everything in its right time. Nothing held on to with a death grip. And what does that look like? Well, the poet Su Dongpo in fact sings to us exactly what it can look like. To what can our life on earth be likened? To a flock of geese alighting on the snow, sometimes leaving a trace of their passage. I love the image of being blown across the river by a fart. Such a lovely image for a person of Zen. But honestly, if you want to understand how to use the 8 winds rather than be buffeted by them, it's this poem of geese, and that sometimes trace that captures the whole of the mystery.